Welcome to day 2 of the 24x40 deck build here on the back of my house. Step by step, here we go. Of course, the last video was planning, and oh my goodness, it may be the most important part of this process, but it takes forever. There were so many hours of drawing and redrawing this deck, and we're finally to the day where I'm going to literally break ground for it. So what am I going to do today? Well, I need to clear everything out. It's basically demo. I need to get the stairs off the back of the house. I need to tear out all of the mulch, and I need to cut out all of the topsoil. Of course, I'll be using the Kubota BX to do all of that, except for right next to the house. I'll do that by hand and scoop it into the tractor. But first thing I need to do is get these stairs out of the way. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So next we'll be digging this mulch out. Since it's so close to the house, I'm gonna have to do a lot of this by hand, but my goal here is, and this happens all the time, whenever anybody uses mulch, they just pile it on every year. They never clear it out. You're supposed to clear it out every year and put new in. So it's up too high. It needs to be 2 inches below the bottom of this second block. So start raking and shoveling. All right, I got it all shaved away from the side of the house so I can safely run the tractor and do everything else with the tractor. This is one of those days, by the way. Started off, it's 30 degrees this morning, winter coat, and it's gonna be 65 this afternoon. That's Northeast Ohio. Anyway, so I'm doing this job and I'm trying to, scoop out nice and even and level with the ground. And it made me think, and you know what? In the comments, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but bucket level indicators are useless. I mean, I've been operating this tractor for 5 years. I've never had one except for that sticker, and it came off a long time ago. But when you're trying to scrape along the ground, especially what I'm gonna do next, try and dig out sod, I've got this Piranha Bar in the front, you wanna tip that Piranha Bar down into the dirt, so you're coming in like this into the dirt. Once you get down in, there's a feel to it. It's not, I don't need an indicator or a visual bar or something, and if I really want to know if my bucket's level, I just kind of tip my head out a little bit and look at the bucket. You're going to get an idea of where your bucket is level. And let me tell you something else. These buckets have quite a bit of play in them. So even if you have that pinpoint accuracy of knowing exactly where your bucket is level, that thing's going to, you know, undulate a little bit. It's not going to stay perfect. And another thing, I just keep going. So if your bucket level indicator indicates that your bucket is level, what happens when you raise your loader? Well, it's not level anymore. So your bucket level indicator only tells you at one specific point. If you're sitting on concrete and your bucket is level, okay? Think about this. You're sitting on concrete and your bucket is level. You get your pinpoint accuracy with that bucket level indicator. Now you're going to do something like what I'm doing here. Well, you're down below a little bit. So your bucket level indicator is not, you know, you're down below the dirt. Your tires are up on top of the dirt and you're down below a little bit. You're digging in. So you don't need that. You need feel, you need practice. That's what it is. I guess for a beginner tractorer, it's kind of like training wheels. I think it may be like training wheels. But I've always just kind of tipped my head out to the side and looked at the bucket to see where it is. So I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think bucket level indicators are a waste of time. I'm going to get back to work. There you have it. I have officially broken ground for the deck. This is fantastic. Okay, and you may wonder why. Why did I do that? Well, I took out all of the sod because one, I don't want grass growing up underneath the deck. Obviously, I'm going to put weed block down, but you know, it's better to just try and take out as much as you can. Number two, I need this to slope away from the house. It already sloped away from the house, but I want it to be perfect because I want all the watershed to come out from under the deck. Number three, I kind of needed the dirt elsewhere too. We've got a low spot where I dumped it that gets just completely saturated and soggy, so I had a place for the dirt. So anyway, had to do it. I could have used the rototiller. I thought about it about halfway through, that I probably could have rototilled that first and it would have been a lot easier to scoop, but it wasn't that hard. It was pretty good to just scoop the sod right off with the BX. So anyway, next step is to plot and drill the post holes. That comes tomorrow. Well, before I drill any holes, I have to do some more layout. It's just crazy how much figuring, how much time there is in measuring, and I did hours of that, so I don't want to bore you with all the process, but I'm going to explain it very quickly. This string going along here, really, as long as it's outside the parameters of the deck, I've got it a foot outside of the width and outside of the length, and you run a string between those two stakes, Then this string here is the really important one. And you use the 3-4-5 method. Most of you already know what that is, but I'll explain it very quickly. A right triangle, if your long side is 4 and your short side is a 3, the hypotenuse should be 5 to make it a right triangle. So take multiples, equal multiples of that. I did 6, 8, 10 to make sure that that was square with the house. So that's done. Then, after that's done on both ends, you need to figure out and measure where your beams are going to be. So I measured those out and I ran strings exactly where the beams are, and the next step is to mark where the posts are going to be. So I'm going to measure and mark the posts right now. And there it is. Finally, I am ready to start drilling some post holes. But that's not going to happen today, because tomorrow, which is actually today while you're watching this, Saturday, it is supposed to rain all day. So I don't want to drill a bunch of holes and have them all filled with water before I can put posts in them. So much planning. I also drove little landscape stakes in where all of my marks are for the posts, because just in case the rain washes all my marks away, I don't want to repeat that step. I don't want to do the same work twice. But it's ready. It's ready. Ground has been broken. Next step is going to be drilling those post holes. And I bought something that I'm going to show you on Wednesday that is going to make it hopefully easier to drill these holes. They're going to be 12-inch holes, 3 feet deep. So I'm not doing that by hand. Anyway, I appreciate you stopping by. We're going to make some more progress on Wednesday. Be sure and stop in at 6 o'clock in the morning when Sam is building more stuff. We'll see you then.